The next story is going to be a very difficult story. I am going to watch what I say, how I say it, and I will control my emotions. And it's my hope that everyone else does too. Be sure to subscribe, hit the like. Let's get started. This is a deep topic, very deep. And I think, let's get into it. California doctors, hospital sued for rushing 12-year-old into transition. A 20-year-old woman is filing suit against California doctors and hospitals, saying she was rushed to conclude she suffered from dysphoria and then was fast-tracked on the conveyor belt to irreversibly damaging medical interventions, including puberty blockers, cross hormones, and double mastectomy at the age of 14. At the age of 14. We're going to do a little bit of the story. Breen parents sought out experts, I love the quotations, at the Center for Trans Youth Health and Development at Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. Center for Trans Youth Health. Okay. Diagnosed Clemens with gender dysphoria and recommended surgical implantation of puberty blockers and the surgical mastectomy. Echoing a grievance that commonly surfaces in gender transition realm, the complaint alleges, and this is alleged, Olson Kennedy told Breen's parents that their daughter would commit suicide. At the time, Clementine had never had any thoughts of suicide, and she certainly had never expressed anything of those lines to Dr. Kennedy. I just want to be very careful with that. I have been saying for a long time, and there are videos on this channel titled Mental Illness Accepted as Lifestyle is a Major Problem. Landmark study reveals kids with issues actually have mental health diagnosis. This study, which came out of Britain, which I'm going to link the actual study to, discusses how it's actually something else. This is information about the doctor. This is the doctor who performed the study. And I will, of course, link information about her into this. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is right here. And I had to go into the archives of the internet, into the Wayback Machine, April 24th, 2024, to find this. The new study from British pediatrician Dr. Hilary Cass, who I just previously cited, confirms what we've already known. Children presenting with sudden onset gender dysphoria are actually suffering from other mental health diagnoses, not true gender dysphoria. Other mental health diagnoses, not gender dysphoria. Her research debunks the gender ideology's frequent talking point that the imposition of medical gender-affirming care on mentally ill children is not only necessary but life-saving. It is life-taking. It is life-damaging. As the first story points out. They're confused children. Every child is confused because you're a child. Dr. Cass's research instead reveals that children who think they are transgender disproportionately have mental health issues stemming from difficulty, family situation, or domestic abuse. They're also more likely to be neurodiverse and comorbid autism spectrum disorder. As far as I'm concerned, these are predators. These are predators seeking out the most vulnerable amongst us. And those of you who know me personally know why this makes me so mad. That sentence right there pisses me off no end. How dare you, you monsters. You purposely seek out the most vulnerable among us. And these are the results of your predatory actions. And they are predatory, make no doubt about it. Nearly 1/3 of transgender individuals report hazardous drinking and problematic drug use. Among transgender adults, 44% report recent suicidal ideation. 7 reported a recent suicide attempt, and 21 report non-suicidal self-injury. The majority, 82% of transgender people have accessed formal mental health care compared to 47% of cisgender adults. About 1/4 of transgender people have sought support for other sources such as religious and spiritual leaders and alternative medicine practitioners compared to 20% of cisgender adults. Transgender non-binary people were 4 times more likely to engage in hazardous drinking compared to transgender women. Compared to transgender men, transgender non-binary people were 4 times more likely to report problematic drug use, 3 times more likely to experience serious psychological distress, 6 times more likely to have recent thought about suicide, 4 times more likely to have engaged in non-suicidal self-injury at some point in their lives. Why? Because of what this says right here. Because you're going after people with mental illness, and you're going after them young. You're hunting our kids. You're going after our kids. You can't tell me you're not. We all know you are. This strikes home because here, in the state of Minnesota, we have a number of very foul legislators, one of which was on a local podcast that I frequently listen to. This one right here. Leigh Finke. Leigh Finke is the author of the California-style bill here in Minnesota. The California-style bill that's now in court because it had a 12-year-old go into gender transition, which is legal now in the state of Minnesota. And Representative Finke says that it can only be done with parental permission. There's a lot of questions about that here in the state of Minnesota because there also seems to be a provision where the court could step in on the child's behalf or for the child in lieu of the parents' permission. Similar to what happened in California with the Texas father who, I'm actually going to bring that up. I apologize for this. New York Post, this is from 2023. Texas dad fears ex-wife plans to chemically castrate their 9-year-old son because they had a divorce and she moved their child to California. The Texas Supreme Court ruled against the father, so the child is with the mother in California. And I'm bringing this story up live as we speak. I apologize for the pausing here. Texas dad loses appeal over transgender son. Ex now free to chemically castrate the boy. This was as of November 24th, 2024. Okay, so there we go. That is legal here in the state of Minnesota. I'm going to bring that up for all of you to see here. Texas dad loses appeal over transgender son. Ex now free to chemically castrate the son. I will, of course, include this in the comments. Sorry, I'm going through some things here. I was watching the Army-Navy game. Go Navy, beat Army. But Representative Finke says that can't happen, that a court cannot intercede. I don't believe that's true. The law was gone through, and there is previous episodes of the same podcast with other representatives who claim the exact opposite. So that is very much, we're just going to call that alleged. But everything I've said in this video, I'm going to, of course, link to this. They're coming after our kids. They have been for years. Not only are they coming after our kids, they're going after the weakest among our kids. They're going after the weakest among our kids. The ones who need us the most. The ones who we care about. And again, if you know me personally, you know why this pisses me off. These people are predators. These people are parasites. We need to defeat them in the arena of ideas so soundly that they never show their faces in respectable circles ever again. The fact that they can even be in public, the people who affirm this kind of predatory activity, which should be criminal. I saw this story and it really got to me, because it's been going along with something I've been saying now for a while. We in this country have become acceptant of mental illness as lifestyle. We cannot have this and be a sane nation. We can't. And the people that we have allowed to have this lifestyle, who are mentally ill, are now going after our kids and mutilating our children. And they're going after the weakest among us. They have to be stopped by any peaceful means necessary. Peaceful. Law-abiding. By the vote. By the debate. They need to be defeated. This has to stop. With all that said, that's all I got. I do have more, but I would like this video to actually be posted because I'm pissed. So I appreciate you, and I thank you very much.